Welcome back to Everyday. Now, if disabilities is something that runs in your life and you want to find out a little bit more about it, maybe you want to help people that you know with disabilities, well, there's a fantastic radio show that's on community radio. It's called Talking Up Disabilities. And here today to talk with me is Edith Morris. Now, she's the host of the show. Welcome to Everyday, Edith.
Yes, thank you.
Gosh, I think this is so fantastic. You've been doing this show for a few years now, haven't you?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what it's all about.
Well, the program is Talking Up Disability, and that's exactly what it is. We're not hiding the fact that there's disability out there in the community. We want to talk it up, let people know we're here, we're making a difference.
So with disability, what are you talking about?
We're talking about people who have some limitations on their life. We're talking about people who maybe are not able to be included in everything, but the whole idea with the radio program I do is to put the word out there, you can be included.
Because I think, it's quite obvious you're in a wheelchair, but you don't just do that disability, do you? You cover a whole wide range of disabilities.
The focus of the program is disability, actually, and that's a big subject in itself.
Yeah.
But there's so many powerful and passionate and abled in all ways, people who have some limitation, but that's not the end of it. There's so much more to their lives, and that's portrayed on this program.
It's such a positive program, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So tell me, why did you want to start up something like this?
Well, I first of all started doing it a bit by default, really. Went to the radio station thinking to promote a certain organisation who the sponsors for Talking Up Disability. But in the end, I got the job of being the host for it, which I just snapped up straight away. One of those things you do in your life on the spur of the moment, and that's what happened.
Oh, which is scary because you've got no radio background whatsoever.
No, except I'm a good talker.
Oh gosh, that's the only thing you need in radio, isn't it?
But the interesting thing is, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the people. In fact, most people don't know very much about me. And on the radio, you can't see that you have a disability, you're just a voice. And I often say to people, I think I was born talking before I cried. So the focus of the program is making a platform for other people's stories.
So do you have, what kind of guests do you have on your show?
I have all sorts of guests. Just this week I had somebody from the Arthritis New Zealand talking about the Arthritis Awareness Week that's coming through right now. And then yesterday I did a pre-recorded interview with Ruth Dyson. So you have the high as well as the person who is living daily with a disability who has a story to tell. And everybody has a story to tell. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just make a place for people to tell their stories, to inspire others mainly, but also that they can have a platform to share.
This must take a lot of your time because you actually organise the whole show, you produce the whole show.
Yeah.
How much time and effort do you put into this?
It can take anywhere from 2 to 5 hours a week, depends. If it's a pre-record, it takes a little bit longer, but I like the excitement of somebody coming straight into the studio and we're right into it. That's exciting. And
so how have your listeners responded to your show? Have they been great?
Well, I do have a handful of listeners. I don't know how many. It's hard to judge. As far as I know, they're enjoying it. I haven't had any criticism.
Well, because there are quite a few people in Hamilton with different kind of disabilities. Do you feel actually that you're coming across to most of those?
Yes, I do. The statistics say that 20% of New Zealanders have a disability, and that's all over New Zealand, not just Hamilton. So just as a very rough estimate, there's probably around 20,000 people who identify as having a disability in Hamilton. And then smaller numbers on smaller cities like Matamata. But they're there, you can count off 1 in 5 all along the street and say, well, whether it's a hidden disability, whether it's a major disability that can be seen, it's still a disability in some way. But that's not the uppermost thing.
Yeah.
The point of the show is, and I always use the slogan, today you're living out of your ability, not your disability.
Well, I think that's a major thing, and that's, if you think positively, and that's the thing, everyone is disabled in some way, be it, you can't talk properly like me, or you've got something else happening, so it's all about the positive.
It is,
So what's your favourite part about doing this whole show?
Really the people input.
Yeah.
It's really just identifying with the people's stories, whether they're volunteers, whether they're people that care for their loved ones at home, whether it's the head of an organisation, she might be the CEO of an organisation and promoting what they're all about. And the interesting thing is that it's information sharing. The whole disability field is so fragmented, and here we can have under one umbrella, hopefully, little bits of information going out that people can pick up on. Really seems vital to me. But also I do have a little section, just a few minutes section, on telling people what's around, whether it's the Paralympic Games, whether it's a picnic or a party or somebody's conference. Those are news and up-to-date things I like to put out there as well for people to listen to, and they say, didn't know about that. In fact, I went to a meeting the other night and somebody came up and said, I'm here because I heard you advertise it on your show. So I thought, that's great.
That's great. So you're doing a community service as well, aren't you?
Yeah. And the other thing is that although it's focused in Hamilton, community radio now streams their programs all around the world. So people all around the world can listen to it. I interviewed a lady who's just in New Zealand from England, and she said, it's up on the website, I'm going to get my mother to listen to it. And they archive their programs through community radio, so they're accessible at any time.
Oh, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Edith.
I've just enjoyed it.
Thank you. And if you would like to find out a little bit more information, maybe you'd like to listen to this fantastic radio show on community radio, you can do so. It's called Talking Up Disabilities. You'll find it's on Tuesdays 11 a.m. on 1206 a.m. or 106.7 FM. There is a website if you'd like to listen through the website or check out the radio station. It's communityradio.co.uk.